Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Knights of the Turntable. This is the 40th episode.
You look like you're about to rap. You're looking at the camera like you're about to rap.
I was trying to get better about looking into the camera because I'm always looking away. But we are 10 episodes away from being on episode 50. I'm kind of excited about that. We got to make it a really big one. But with me, I have Joe Hova.
And that's it.
And that is it. Due to basically a series of unfortunate events, we could not get one single person to do the show with us, even like people that are randomly on every now and then. So
that's all right. We talk enough that we'll fill it up.
Pretty much. So let's go ahead and tell everyone what's in our rotation. Go ahead, Joe.
What was I listening to? Oh, so my girl made this 90s R&B hip-hop remix list that hit thecoalition.com today. Check that out. She worked really hard on it. Like, she did it in one day, but she worked, like, super hard on it. Like, her knowledge of music, like, it's one of the reasons I fell in love with her. So I listened to that. Ludacris. I made this Ludacris playlist because I got something in store for the playlist stuff coming up too. So I was listening to Luda at the gym, and I think that's been about it. Those are probably like the two main ones. What you got?
Okay, sorry, it wouldn't unmute for some reason. So, me personally, I listened to that playlist that your girl put up, which is so dope. I got up early. I didn't have to go to work until late today. And I had a jam in the entire time I was up getting stuff done around the apartment because it took me way back, bro. It was beautiful. I only got through half of the playlist. It's a really long playlist.
Yeah, like it took me. I played it at the gym one night, and I'm at the gym probably about 2 hours, and it took me the entire 2 hours.
Yeah, I was jamming out, and it was pretty dope. Other than that, I've been listening to Waves, Mick Jenkins' Waves, of course.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm trying to pull up my most recent listen to because it was something that I specifically wanted to talk about. I listened to B.O.B. Psychedelic Thoughts. We're probably going to do a first impression on that very soon. Surf, still in heavy rotation all the way through. Big Sean's Dark Sky Paradise. I listened to Best of Tupac recently just to do it.
Why would you do that? Why would you put that on your ears?
Stop hating, man. I listened to Murs, Have a Nice Life, and I've finally come to the conclusion that Murs is not for me at all. And
I don't think Murs is for a lot of people.
He is talking about things worth talking about, but the delivery is so astronomically plain that I can't enjoy it. And it may not be that way with all of his stuff. I know it's not that way with all of his stuff. Like
some of his stuff is good.
Yeah, but when I started listening to Have a Nice Life, my goodness, I was just like, it was killing me the whole time. But yeah, and I was also listening to Catalactica today. That thing is still amazing. Still amazing. But that's it for my rotation. So let's go ahead and jump into the topics. In another edition, which has become a weekly thing, of another edition of Rapper Putting Foot in Mouth. On this episode, we have Jay Electronica, the deadbeat dad, so coined by Joe Hova, the deadbeat dad of hip hop.
You're welcome.
Joe has done a conspiracy theory on his particular album that we have not seen. It's on thecoalition.com. Please hit that search and go check that out. I'll probably throw it in the post if you're watching this after the live showing. But I mean, suffice it to say, Jay Electronica came out the gate with some dope backing. P. Diddy was behind him, Just Blaze was behind him, Nas behind him, a whole bunch of people. Jay-Z signed him to Roc Nation and everything. But he has not produced an album from all of this yet. We've gotten, is it 10 years now or more than that?
Exhibit C and Exhibit A were 2010, so it's going towards 6.
Okay, half of that. So 6 years. If you've been following him closely, 7 maybe. But on a popular scale, 5 to 6 years that we've heard this music, heard great things, and we've been getting 1 or 2 songs every year since then, one of which is an extended version of a song that we heard a clip of. I'm expecting an additional verse on, but it's like 2 more bars and extended instrumental on freaking Dear Moleskin. So fuck that fucking song. But this guy, Jay Electronica, decided to take shots at Drake and J. Cole, one of which he has been featured with about 2 or 3 times now, and say that he is the god of hip hop. So we're going to address
Let me just go ahead and stop you right there, because you remember Married with Children? You remember that show?
Yes, I do.
You remember Al Bundy?
Yes,
4 touchdowns at Polk High, Al Bundy? This is Jay Electronica. This is Jay Electronica right now. He is living off of shit that he did 5, 6 years ago. And I don't understand why people still, like, you know, crave his music. They, you know, they listen. Like, by this point, it's like teasing a dog with a treat. You can only tease that dog for so long before he's going to walk away. Yep. And, like, I don't get how his fans are still, you know, like, hey, you know, I can't wait for that new Jay Electronica. It doesn't fucking exist. The dude doesn't put out music. He doesn't work on music. And if you want to say, oh, he works behind the scenes, how do you know that? How do I know that he doesn't make music? We don't know anything. We only know what he gives us in his little fucking tweets that he deletes every, like, 6 months. Yep. And the 1 song that he puts out a year. Like, yep. and it's gotten to the point where he doesn't even deserve to be talked about in hip-hop. Because if you're not producing, we live in an era where if you're not producing anything, you're left in the dirt. You're left behind. It's like the Rapture. Like, you're not fucking here.
Nope, that's spot on. And let me tell you a little story about a tweet that I typed but I deleted, right? So all of this happens, and I'm sitting there pondering the whole situation and all the people that they throw up there as really great artists and stuff like that. And I started typing. I was like, you know what? Just in anger, I was like, Andre 3000 and Jay Electronica are about the same thing at this point. But then I stopped myself.
Because everybody would have fucking killed you.
No, not because everybody would have killed me. Because Andre has albums before all of this. He actually has albums he did with Big Boy. Jay Electronica doesn't have any albums. He has a 5-track EP where 40% of it is clips from TV shows and movies in like 4 verses, on the whole thing. And then we've got scattered tracks from all over the place that he has, that if you gathered all of the little bitty pieces, you'd have a mixtape probably out of all of it. But I don't understand how a person that does not engage in hip hop consistently just comes out and attacks 2 artists that are arguably at the top of the game. Yeah.
Like the way and the perfect analogy for this, for me, there was this kid back home when we were growing up. He was the best basketball player I had laid eyes on in my, you know, little life. And he went to high school, and we all thought he was, you know, he was going to go to the NBA. And then he started slacking off, started getting in trouble. He transferred schools like 3 times and stuff in college, and it's like, come on, dude. Like, the talent's there, you're just not using it. And that's exactly the case with Jay Electronica. He's not, you know, you're baiting along your fans. You're not putting out material. And in this day and age, you have to put out material.
Yep, pretty much. You can't just hang off of 1 or 2
You
verses.
Can't live off those fucking 4 touchdowns at Polk High School.
No. Like, my goodness. Like, no one remembers your verse for Control. Just take that. Like, no one remembers it at all. And after a while,
you had the worst fucking flow on the song.
Easily. And I'm like, and Big Sean was on that song with you. It was, oh my goodness. It's killing me, man. It's ridiculous how this person could do that. And then like I pointed out, he's collaborated with J. Cole. So I'm like, of all people, why would you even say that about J. Cole? Like, what was the point of that?
At least J. Cole's putting out music.
Yeah, exactly. Putting out music, selling mad records too. You know, and he's out there doing something. Not only is he doing music, he's doing stuff beyond that, but that's beside the point. I'm curious what made him target Drake and J. Cole of all people. Like, he didn't mention Kendrick, who's like right in between them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Whatever. Maybe Kendrick's featured on Jay Electronica's non-existent fucking album.
But see, that's the thing, is like, I don't want to talk about Jay Electronica ever again, because like, we're feeding into it. And you can, and if somebody, like, he's not relevant right now, you know, it's fair to say if you're not putting out music, you're not relevant in hip hop right now in this day and age. So I don't want to talk about the dude ever again until he drops a fucking album.
I think we should put like an official stamp on that. No more Jay Electronica until the album comes out.
Yep.
Not even singles. Not even
the
a
album.
stream. The whole thing got to come out. The whole thing. And if we waited all this time and then he drops another 5-track EP, I'm going to show up at one of his shows and storm the stage.
When did he drop a 5-track EP? I don't remember this.
This was before he even blew up.
Okay.
And it was called The Pledge, because, you know, he plays into that whole thing with the Prestige, the Pledge, the Turn, and the Prestige.
Yeah.
The first one was called The Pledge. There are no replayable songs on The Pledge. Like, it is very concept. Is concept the word? It's very much a concept EP with all these different clips from these films and everything. Mm-hmm. And it's super abstract. And as I said before, just because it's abstract doesn't make it good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the second one is supposed to be called The Turn. So I'm like, it's crazy. You're not the only person that didn't even know that he dropped the 5-track EP. Yeah. Like, I tweeted it out, and other people were like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, this is ridiculous. It's been this long. I think that's what, remember when I said if you're a dedicated fan, then it's been like 6 years or 7 because he dropped that first. But it's whatever. Jay Electronica, drop an album or shut the fuck up, please. Like, no, it doesn't make sense. Don't come at people.
He's the Al Bundy of hip hop. Like he's the Al Bundy of hip hop from now on.
I may change the title to that, because right now it's Kanye West in 2015 Struggle Versus. I may go Jay Electronica is the Al Bundy of hip hop. All right, moving on to another artist or group of artists putting their foot in their mouths, but this one, understandable strategy. Funk Volume, which is owned by Hobson and features artists such as Jaron Benton, Dizzy Wright, and Swizz. I think that's all of them. They have issued a challenge. They did it on Sway in the morning. They've issued a $500,000 challenge to TDE, Shady Aftermath, Slaughterhouse, which is the same thing, and Good Music. Would you like to speak on this first?
They issued the challenge to, what was it, 500K?
500,000.
They're gonna put up 500,000 to battle rap these dudes.
They're gonna put themselves in bankruptcy to battle rap these dudes.
Like, here's the thing. Like, you know how in like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, like you pick a character and your homeboy picks the same character, and it's like it's like different colors of like different shades of like Scorpion or Sub-Zero. Like, if Hobson had to face Eminem, that is what that is. Like, that is exactly what that is.
He's gonna be the bootleg one though.
I don't know. I think, you know, I think the whole Control thing, that got the ball rolling on stuff like this, and the whole Meek and Drake beef, that kind of played into it.
Most Def too.
The whole Most Def thing. I think it's going to start becoming a trend where all these crews are going to want to start barking at the top dogs, and, you know, try to prove themselves, basically.
Right.
I've only listened to a little bit of Hobson. I have listened to. I think Jaron Benton's dope. Dizzy Wright's cool from the project that I heard this year. I don't know if those dudes can go toe to toe with TDE for sure.
No.
Pro-
I would only, if I were TDE, I'd just send Schoolboy Q by himself. That is it. And he would clown all of them, and it would be beautiful. Like he doesn't even have to rap. Just put him in a room.
Yo,
He'll just roast all
you know
of
what?
them.
You know what Q would do? He would take off his bucket hat and pretend to eat out of it. Like, you ain't eating. You ain't eating.
I want to see behind the scenes footage of Schoolboy Q finding out that this challenge happened.
Yo,
You know, he's just gonna talk about like they're trying to eat off us, and I'm gonna die laughing.
I think they could whoop. I don't know if whoop is the right term. They could. It would be close, but I think that they could keep up with TDE Slaughterhouse.
Wrong, and I will tell you why.
Or not TDE, Shady Slaughterhouse. I mean,
Shady Slaughterhouse. They won't, for not even the Eminem reason. They won't because of Crooked Eye. Have you ever heard him do like his just rap, just straight rap?
Like he did the weekly series. It's been like 2 or 3 years ago. He did that weekly series, and he was a monster
for a whole year. For an entire year, he dropped a verse, and none of them were bad. I listened. That was when I became a fan of Crooked Eye. I found out about it 8 weeks in, and I didn't know he was doing it all year. I just kept listening. Killed it, especially when he did the last one. It was ridiculous because he did like 4 different beats. Crooked Eye alone would take y'all out. But even then, Royce the 5'9" loves beef.
He does.
And if you turn it into that,
who was it? Mr. Fab?
Career is over. Mr. Fab is trying to make a comeback and rap battle because he is not allowed in hip hop other than that anymore.
Yep.
It's done. And it's all because he tried to be shady and set Royce and Fonte up with this whole battle thing. But that's another story for another day. Eminem is still there. You got Crooked Eye, you got Royce, and then Royce and Eminem together is a lot more dangerous than them apart from each other.
I kind of agree with that, I guess.
Yeah. So you got that's shady and that's TDE. Now, good music though.
The only person holding that flag right now is Big Sean.
Saha technically is. I think that whole diss was a publicity stunt.
Well, I'm just talking about like in terms of like people who are actually like on right now and they're like on fire. Like Big Sean is on fire right now, and I think he's probably. But I don't think that he's built for like a battle.
No. And here's the shifty part. As far as battle go, I think Saha is most equipped than anyone out of that group.
Yeah.
We're going to discuss Kanye and his decline in a little bit. I have to wonder, is Common still on that label?
I don't think Common is. And I don't know if 2 Chainz is either.
Okay. So, good music would have to take that loss.
Yeah. Because are you going to listen to Travis Scott like, straight up, like the entire battle? Like, you're not. You're just not.
Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, good music may have some of the strongest production out of the whole thing.
Oh, they definitely do, but that's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, because like Dizzy, I respect. Dizzy's my favorite out of Funk Volume. He's really good. Jaron Benton is dope. Him just rappity rap is nuts. Hobson, we've talked about him. Check the Coalition Knights of the Turntable podcast. It's called Hobson Said What.
I think it was the last one, 39.
Yeah, we handled that already. And Swizz is cool too. They could handle good music. I don't even know why good music was an option to challenge. They were just trying to think of groups or whatever. I do notice that they didn't challenge Strange Music, and that's probably because Hobson is tight with Tech Nine.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't listen to them as much as I do, but Strange Music would take a shit on Funk Volume.
I believe
from
that.
Top to bottom.
I mean, I've listened to some Tech. Like he's crazy.
Yeah, he'd handle that by himself. It'd be ridiculous. But TDE and Shady, and then like to say Shady and Slaughterhouse, just take Shady out of the equation. TDE and Slaughterhouse, Funk Volume cannot take them on, and they won't take them on. Why would they battle Funk Volume at this point?
Yeah, it means nothing to them. The only person I could imagine doing it is Joe Budden, just because he loves like stirring shit.
All they gotta do is go at him on Twitter. just go at him on Twitter. You know, like I saw when somebody said when Joe Budden tweeted out he needs to stop tweeting so much so he doesn't turn into Twitter fingers like Meek Mill, and everybody was like, you were Twitter fingers before Twitter fingers was Twitter fingers. I lost it, dog. And it's true. He's like the epitome of a hip hop Twitter star or whatever. But
who would you like to see that they didn't name besides Strange? Is there anybody?
I'd say Pro Air.
Okay.
I think that would be dope because I feel like no disrespect to Pro Air, but I feel like that collective would be closer to the stature of Funk Volume because the biggest person on Pro Air is obviously Joey Badass. Mm-hmm. And everybody else is not so much. So I feel like they could benefit and get some shine off of this particular confrontation. I'm looking at it the way of both sides benefiting versus TDE and Slaughterhouse. Only Funk Volume benefits from that.
Yeah.
So Pro Air is all I can think of. Who you think?
Save money.
Okay. I could rock with that. But do you count Vic Mensa?
I mean,
because he's good music now. Well, no, he's not good music. He's Rock Nation.
I mean, technically you still count him.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the same situation. You got Vic Mensa that's up there, but the rest of them can still benefit from that. So I can rock with that. I'm wondering where Funk Volume got this $500,000 from, though.
Mortgage the label.
Are you gonna have to show up with that money first to get the battle going, or what? But I don't know. Anybody else you think you throw out there?
I don't know. Not really. I mean, like
I'll say the Village, which Mick Jenkins and Alex Wiley are part of the Village.
Okay. I don't know. The only other like groups that I could think of was like MMG, but like I don't think that they're on the same. They're not on the lyrical level of like Shady and TDE, but I mean they don't same thing. They don't have anything to lose or to gain.
Yeah,
I guess.
If Meek Mill hadn't buried himself, we'd probably be saying Meek Mill is a battle rapper from Philly, so maybe he'd compete. Wrong. We already found that out. So. Funk Volume, nice try, but we'll have to catch you guys next time. They were better off just dissing everybody, like one by one. They should have just went ahead and did it, and just let the media run with it and get it into everyone else's ears, and make it a thing from that point. I mean, saying it on Sway was smart because Sway will probably ask one of these other people, "Hey, y'all gonna respond or whatever?" But you got to put some music out.
Yeah.
All right, so going into the third and final topic, we've mentioned it a couple times, but 2015 has been arguably one of the worst years for anyone listening to Kanye West.
And it started on New Year's Eve with that with the only one song.
I'll say this: I love the message.
Message is
that
cool.
song was terrible.
That song was
terrible.
And you notice that since everybody has said, "Oh, we're not going to listen to this Kanye album because Paul McCartney because it sounds like shit," Rihanna hasn't dropped another single. Kanye hasn't dropped another single.
Nope, it's been quiet.
Yep.
And I like 4 or 5 seconds.
I did too. I thought it was a hit.
Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. But so we're going to break down and address the 3 worst verses of 2015 from Kanye West. We're going to save the worst for last, which I think we both agree on which one is the
But here's the thing. I think we need to explain this. Are they the 3 worst verses of 2015 overall, or just the 3 worst Kanye verses? Because I think that they're the 3 worst verses overall.
I am inclined to say that they're the 3 worst verses overall, especially the last 2.
Yeah.
Especially the last two. So we'll start with the first, which is All Your Fault, which is on Big Sean's album. And you know what? Shouts out to Big Sean, man. You've come so far, and the freaking owner of your label gets featured on your project and stinks up the joint twice. 2 times. One of them is technically a remix and not on the retail album.
It's on the radio version.
It's on the radio version. Cool. So you got away with that one. But Kanye's verse on All Your Fault. Would you like to go ahead and address that one first, sir?
I'm gonna tell you truthfully. What did he say? Something about Mickey leaving.
You gonna end up with a goofy?
Yeah, I imagine that's what Chris told Carucci.
Mm-hmm.
Bro. Like, the beginning of that verse is dope. It's good. I'm sitting there vibing to it the very first time I hear it, and then I hear this, the Mickey and Goofy, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing, Kanye? What in the fuck was that, Kanye?
You know what? I gotta splice that together for a Vine. It's gotta happen. It has got to happen. I didn't like the song. I'm sorry, scratch that. I enjoyed the song itself.
And I gotta say, I still think All Your Fault beat is the best I've heard this year.
I still like Play No Games because of the sample.
True.
But All Your Fault is a good song that Kanye absolutely drags down.
Mm-hmm.
And he dragged it down in a fashion that has started. I'll say it arguably started with Yeezus. With these lazy verses from him.
Yeah.
Like super lazy. And I have another insight on it, but I'll wait till we get to the next. So the next one is Jukebox Joints on A$AP Rocky's album.
Oh my God, that one.
I'm gonna read this out. This man opens, more power to you, my lovely one, 3 times. What's up, bruh? That all depends. With friends like you, who needs friends? Sometimes the best advice is no advice, especially when it's your advice. He opens with 5 cliche statements, and that is half of his verse already gone. How are you, A$AP Rocky, hearing this back and not cutting it off your fucking album?
Because it's the Kanye verse.
Like that was so bad. Like,
some artists at this point though, like A$AP Rocky, would never have had a Kanye verse if it wasn't for his last album.
That's true.
So like you get a Kanye verse. I mean, you just gotta take it.
You gotta be looking at your boys with the sour face though in the studio when you hear that back. Like, this really what Kanye decided to send back?
If Yams was alive, my God, I don't think that this verse would have made the album, man.
Or he would have got roasted. Or he would have got roasted on the track, like after it fades out, just Yams going in on it, and then it goes to the next song. Anything
Long
else?
Live A$AP Yams. Long live A$AP Yams.
Yes, indeed. You want me to go ahead and go into this last one?
Let's go to the last one, because I thought you were going to make Jukebox Joints the last one, but yeah.
The worst verse of 2015, brought to you by Kanye West himself, is the remix version of Big Sean's Blessings, featuring Drake as well. Kanye comes in on the remix at the end. I can't say the verse the way I'm talking now is how he raps the verse. It's just empty space.
Something Montessori, and my daughter doing her homework in the pool, and I got a pool, and it's like, bro, shut the fuck up! You ruined the song. Like, you know what?
Like Star Wars.
You know what? I want a Riley Curry guest verse to replace this. All right. I want a Riley Curry guest verse.
I'd be down for that. Like, all right, so my insight on Kanye is this. if I can't readily disrespect artists like Drake, Ray Shrimmer, and other people like that, where the verses aren't super complex, but they make them fit and catchy songs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say that is because Kanye has said it himself that he's going in that direction.
Yep.
And we can tell that he's going in that direction, but he sucks at it. What is that single that he has from his album?
All day.
Prime example. Ghost written or not, it doesn't work for Kanye West. Like, he's riding the coattails of production, and people are just so cool with that shit.
Here's the thing.
It's so bad.
Here's the thing with Kanye right now, though, is that, okay, we know Travis Scott is like ghost producing, maybe even ghost writing for him. But when it was Hit Boy, it sounded a lot better. When he was like kind of working with Hit Boy and stuff, it sounded a lot better.
Yeah, I agree.
Because Hit Boy is more his style, whereas Travis Scott is a blend of 2 Chainz and Future and everything that you can think of from the South right now. Yeah. And Kanye doesn't sound good like that. It's, you know. And that's the thing, too, is like Kanye has never been this dope lyricist. Like, you know, he's never had like the dopest rhymes. He's had catchy rhymes. He's always had catchy rhymes. And I mean, like, you just, you know, just go back and listen to College Dropout, All Falls Down, Through the Wire, you know, stuff like that. I mean, they're, you know, those songs are all still catchy. But
yeah, you
can't, you know, go away from your bread and butter. Like, at this point, he's trying, and you can try. But Yeezus, people didn't like it. And nobody likes this Paul McCartney executive producing shit right now either.
No.
And if you do, please hit us up, because I have not seen one positive thing this year about Kanye.
Yeah.
Outside of that, he's going to be a dad again.
Right. All respect to Paul McCartney. I enjoy his music. Kanye's old music, I enjoy them. Them together, not so much.
Fuck that.
Not very excited
Paul McCartney never made Dirty Sprite 2. Fuck that.
Okay, can't really argue with that, but you say the wrong thing, we're gonna get a future Paul McCartney project. And like I said, 4 or 5 seconds is cool, but 4 or 5 seconds is a prime example of a song. You just do that shit one time, and like, oh, Paul McCartney, Kanye, and Rihanna, that's fire. We don't need a whole album of that.
Don't need a whole album.
We just get that one good time.
And that's the thing, like, Rihanna did have a follow-up single to that, but the way that they're treating Rihanna's album is the same way that they're treating Kanye's album, is that they both released singles right around the same time. They did the joint single, the 4 or 5 seconds, then they both released singles of their own. But then they dropped the ball on dropping the video. They dropped both those videos late, and then there hasn't been any word about either of those albums. So I don't know if it's because it's sounds like shit and they're going back to the drawing board, the label isn't happy, you know what, but it's kind of ironic that it's the same thing for both of them right now.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting. I'm sure we'll still get both albums by the end of the year. But I have faith that Rihanna's will be decent. Kanye's, I was optimistic about Kanye's for a while, but I'm not anymore.
You know what I would rather do?
It's going to be Yeezus Part 2.
You know what I would rather do than wait on this Kanye album? I would rather sit at my wall staring at it, waiting on the J-Rock album to finally be released.
It trips me out that people believe that August 2016 release date is real.
Somebody
don't understand that that's a placeholder.
Yeah, somebody explained it to me on Twitter. Shout out to Rhett Cartier. He's dope artist too. He explained it to me is that they're trying to get so many pre-sales on that album. So the dates are going to keep moving up until they hit that mark.
Yeah, got it. But yeah, I knew that was placeholder because that's just dumb business sense. That's just dumb as hell to sit there and have him with these singles, and then you're probably going to release at least 2 other albums in between now and August. So it didn't make any sense whatsoever. But that has been all the topics. We talked about Kanye and his trash verses. We talked about Funk Volume versus The World, and we talked about Jay Electronica versus his motherfucking self. Hit the comment section and let us know what you think about all these particular things and what you would like for us to possibly talk about on the next show. Joe, what's your final word, sir?
Fuck J Electronica.
Word to that. Final statement from me, of course, hit the eye annotation in the top right if you're watching this after the live viewing. This has been the Knights of the Turntable on the Coalition.com. We got a lot of other shows on the site. Hit them, check them out, hit the comment section. There's some dope stuff about gaming and tech and everything. We appreciate all the support. Hopefully next time we'll have more than 2 people on the episode because everybody watched and they won't go to sleep.
We did the damn thing.
Oh, of course, we always will. Remember, I told you, if I got to do it by myself, it's going to happen. But we will catch y'all next time. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
You can't do the Nardwar, bro.